body hurt. You know why. It's Workout Wednesdays! Ironically, it's a little bit of Update Monday too. What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here. And today we got a little bit of Update Monday with the wind day. I just gotta tell you about this shot. So I'm actually recording this video the day of editing and uploading this video. And it's also the day that I finally decided to take my medication that I took on Monday, or that I'm supposed to take on Monday. Now hold on guys, before you crucify me about not taking my medication on time, I have a counter argument. I've been feeling nothing less of amazing. That's right guys, these workouts with DR Fitness 702 have made me too strong again. Boy, this power, it's like so much power. But jumping in today's workout that I'm gonna show you, me and my coach decided to have a race. It was pretty fun as we got to do push-ups, we got to do single leg squats, we got to do sit-ups. I hate sit-ups. And then we turned around and we took a hammer to a tire. That was done in a quick circuit for 5 rounds. And I'm telling you, to me, it doesn't seem hard, but once you get to the 3rd or 4th round, now I have to tell you guys, when you're working out with the big dogs, your weight will probably balloon up, but that's because you're gaining muscle. We strong over here. But one thing that will never weigh on your mind is how important these side deck cards are. In this video, we're going to be going over a side deck tier list that will blow your mind. There's going to be some cards in here that you never would have thought of citing that Uncle Cali is going to give you the insight to play. So of course, if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to destroy that subscribe button, but also go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, oh my God, we too strong. Hey there, microphone. You were in my way. So with all that out of the way, let's jump on into this tier list, guys. We have 5 different categories this time around, all the way from Better Be Caught With It to everyone's favorite and oh no, what are you doing, baby? Now, one thing I would like to point out is that Sauce is not above Really Good. Really Good is a standard hand trap that you could or could not play inside of your extra deck. Sauce is underrated. They're not above, you just ain't paying attention to it. The first card we are going to talk about is Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. This is a really good hand trap strictly because it only hits one of the top meta decks in Drytron. Ally of Justice Cycle Reader can be a game ender against that particular strategy, and that's why we put it in the really good category. Next on our side deck tier list is Alpha of the Master of Beast. I feel like this card is not effective right now. Against Virtual World, they will be able to respond with cards like Virtual World Chuchi, their Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and it can get over Shinshin, but you're relying on them just to have Shinshin. Against Shadol, this card could be good as it does get over their most important monster inside of Shadol Winda. Prank Kids can blow the card away, and Drytron says, what are you doing here, baby? Tri Brigade, also known as BBW, most important card typically is their trap in Tri Brigade Revolt. This card will not bait the Revolt. And in case you guys didn't know, those are the top 5 decks of the format. In this particular order, it would be Tri Brigade, Virtual World, Drytron, Shadows, and then Prank Kids. Actually, let's flip those last 2. Anti-Spell Fragrance is a saucy Yu-Gi-Oh card. In today's Yu-Gi-Oh, spell cards are extremely important, guys. So being able to not be able to be destroyed by spell cards like Lightning Storm, Forbidden Drop, whatever the spell card of your opponent's choice is important. This card is actually just as good as Imperial Order. Artifact Lancia used to be a card that you better be caught with, ladies and gentlemen. Now it feels like a card it feels really good. Now, don't get me wrong, I would consider Artifact Lancia literally in between the Better Be Caught With It and the really good, because there are still a lot of decks that play it. But before, when I said Better Be Caught With It, these were the decks that you must play it, which was every deck, and needed it in order to survive. This card is amazing against Virtual World and BBW, and could be good against Shadows, but against Prank Kids and Drytron, you're not really gaining a lot of momentum. So I'm gonna leave it up to you, and depending on what your meta is, to side in Artifact Lancia. Artifact Scythe is oh my god, this card is sauce. It's too much sauce, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why is because if you're going first against every single competitive deck in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, you can lock your opponent out. Seriously consider siding Artifact Scythe and Artifact Sanctum accordingly. Cosmic Cyclone is easily a card that is in a really good spot. It can blow up cards like Chuchi. It can also address that BBW card in Tri-Brigade Revolt. It can stop that Prank Kids Pandemonium before they can flip it face up. And of course, shut all Schism. Also, since Artifact Lancia is a card that's like in the middle of these two, you might not have to deal with the fact that Artifact Lancia will, stop this card. Dark Ruler No More feels like a not effective Yu-Gi-Oh card, and there's only one reason why. The main deck that you want to hit with this is Drytron, but that actually raises the problem. Is your meta filled with combo heavy decks? If it is, then this card is a really, really good card. If your meta is not filled with combo heavy decks, and let's just say it is a even number of the top 5 decks, then you might want to consider siding something else, unless you know you're going to be going against those Drytron matchups. Diddy Crow is a sauce Yu-Gi-Oh card. I gotta say that Diddy Crow is still a sauce, because while it doesn't have applications against direct interactions against the current meta, Diddy Crow hits those really good cards when your opponent needs them, and of course you can open multiple copies of Diddy Crow and still be able to use it. Danko Sekka is oh my god, that's sauce. What we doing here? Face it guys, almost every single top meta deck runs a back row. Danko Sekka will Danko wreck ya. Imagine going against Prank Kids. They can only use that Pandemonium in the main phase. Well, summon Danko Sekka, big brain. Against Shadow, Schism only in the main phase. Summon Danko Sekka, forehead. Against BBW, that Tri-Brigade Revolt, and that 2 Negatopulosa. Danko Sekka. This card is seriously a saucy Yu-Gi-Oh card right now. I feel like Dimensional Prison is oh no, what are you doing, baby? Seriously, Dimensional Barrier is great against Prank Kids. It's great against Shuttles. It's pretty good against Virtual World, but this card does not feel good mainly because there's so many links into the game and players can play around these particular cards because links are so prevalent. Let's say, for example, if you stop a Synchro deck, well, that Synchro deck normally can Exceed Summon too. If you stop the Fusion deck in Shadol, well, not only did you only stop them from return, they fuse on your turn. So which one do you want to stop? You want to stop me on my turn or you want to stop me on your turn? I'm not saying that this card, actually, I guess I wouldn't say that it's oh no, what are you doing, baby? Maybe it's just not an effective card, especially with so many link-based decks, but you really got to choose your battles with this card. And by the way, Dark Ruler No More would be border really good to not effective. Dimensional Shifter is going to be a better be caught with it Yu-Gi-Oh card. If your deck can afford to play Dimensional Shifter, then you must be playing Dimensional Shifter, ladies and gentlemen. That is just a card that you just play. And Dino Wrestler Pankotrops is another one of those Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I feel you better be caught with it because there are so many matchups where this card just comes in the clutch. I'm going to also put it Droll and Lockbird in the really good category. What's ironic is that out of all of the topping decks that I've seen, they played Artifact Lancia more than Droll and Lockbird, and it's a good reason. This card actually sucks in Yu-Gi-Oh against a deck not Drytron. So it's just another one of those cards that you're high playing against a heavy surge deck like Drytron. We're talking about the top of the top, the cream de la crop, the top 5 Yu-Gi-Oh decks. And as you start to scale down towards the other decks in the format, Droll and Lockbird can hit them, but why the fuck are we siding against them? Why do we care? Why do we care? We're playing good Yu-Gi-Oh decks. We're playing Solomon Great. We're playing Cyber Dragon. We're playing Live Twin. We're playing Burning Abyss, or playing my favorite decks. So we don't care about them. We're going to win. It's too strong. All those decks, God decks. And BBW. And Virtual. And every other deck that I like. But what I'm trying to say is that good players don't side for the other decks. We side against the top decks. And there is a caveat. If our meta is filled with a particular deck, then yes, we'll side for that. But that is the rule of the thumb. Droll and Lockbird is going to be in the really good category. Evenly Matched is, oh man, boy. Is so much sauce in this video, guys. Evenly Matched is just like Anti-Spellfragments, but in reverse. If your opponent has a board or a setup, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Ironically, this card also dodges Anti-Spellfragments, so that's pretty cool. Forbidden Drip is I feel like this is a really good main board Yu-Gi-Oh card. As for sideboard, I'm going to go ahead and put, oh no, what are you doing, baby? And again, the reason why is because Forbidden Drip doesn't feel like a card that you should be sideboarding. It feels like a card that you either main or don't play right now. So not saying that this card's bad. It's just, I don't understand why it would be in your side deck. Forbidden Droplet. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This is another card that it just, I don't want to say it's right here. I want to say it's like in between not effective and really good. Because, so Forbidden Droplet can be a sideboard card to deal with a huge board like Drytron. It also can address Virtual World under the correct circumstance. It can even address BBW because it is a quick play that can interact with Charade. And of course, it has so many more interactions than Forbidden Chalice, and that's why this card is right here. But the reason why I feel Forbidden Droplet is just not effective is because you can't splash it into every Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You have to pick your poison on where you want to play the drip. This is actually in the same boat as Dark Ruler No More. It's in that really good but not really as effective category. Kaiju cards are going to be sauce. That goes for the Winged Dragon Aura Sphere mode too. There's going to be so much sauce in this video. So many cards that players are kind of splashing with and having good success. And the Kaijus and Winged Dragon Aura Sphere mode are some of those cards. Kaiju, they're Winda. Kaiju, they're Appaloosa, because Appaloosa is very powerful into this format. Kaiju, they're Battle Butler. Kaiju, they're Shinshin. Kaiju, they're Crystal Wing. Anytime your opponent has a card like Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, there's a Kaiju for that. Give them that healthy Kaiju. And Winged Dragon Aura Sphere mode is actually pretty good against quite a few decks that will summon multiple monsters to the side of the field. Ghost Bell, I feel, is a really good sideboard card, but probably should be in your main board for this particular meta. And goes in match. I don't see Rivalry of the Warlords, but I think both of them are also pretty good sideboard cards depending on what your deck and what your, particular deck that you're going against. Like goes in match against Virtual World or Rivalry against Virtual World is pretty good. Rivalry against Drytron is fairly good because they summon Machine and Fairies. Against BBWs, what are we doing here? Like, these cards are just really good against a lot of the decks. Harpy's Feather Duster is also a really good card. No need for explanation. And Lightning Storm just got a reprint, so you better be caught with it, guys. I'd rather be judged by 12 to be carried by 6 type card. Boy, Lightning Storm is amazing. Being able to destroy front row, back row, and against only one deck, you're not going to have a problem, as this card can be used without interruption more often than not. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon can only negate effect monsters, and while the Herald cards in Drytrons can stop that, I mean, I guess that's where you got me and we don't side them in, right? Lightning Storm has been an amazing card, overperforming right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Moving forward, Mystic Mine is oh no, what are you doing, baby? Seriously, guys, why are you playing Mystic Mine? Don't play Mystic Mine. Nobody likes you if you play Mystic Mine, unless you play any of these Mystic Mine approved decks. Sky Striker, Subterror, Altergeist. And even if you are playing those, if you guys haven't noticed, the topping builds don't play Mystic Mine, because Mystic Mine with back row hate on the rise, you're not going to catch your opponent into a 25 turn game with Mystic Mine. It's just not going to happen. Don't side Mystic Mine. Don't main Mystic Mine. It's not going to be a good situation, as it'll just get blown out of the water. Nibiru the Primal Being, I know in our hand trap tier list, if you guys want to see the hand trap tier list, go ahead and check that out. I did give Nibiru a question mark. I'm going to have to put Nibiru literally in between. I need to make an in-between category, how many in-between cards there are, right? But I'm going to put Nibiru in between really good and not effective, because this card can hit Virtual Worlds. This card can hit Drytrons. It's going to struggle against Shadal. BBW can actually play around it, but it can hit BBW. And Prank Kids, I mean, shit, just take this Nibiru token and be happy with it. So Nibiru does have applications in the sideboard where I'm going to have to put it as really good. But in the main board, Nibiru is not a hand trap that you should be playing, in my personal opinion. Cypher and Gear Gamma is another card that I'm going to put in a, oh no, what are you doing, baby? But it's in the exact same situation as Forbidden Chalice. do not play this card in your sideboard. If you're not mainboarding this card, then what are you siding for? There are so many points of interaction that this card can be used in the main deck, like stopping hand traps like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. That's this card's primary function, as opposed to where it was in the sideboard as a stopping critical monster effects, because there's not really a critical monster effect in this Yu-Gi-Oh card game that you can stop and will end your opponent's turn. If you guys aren't understanding Big Brain Cali right now, don't worry about it. I have not had coffee. I haven't even ate. I'm just spewing knowledge to you guys right now. Quaking Mirror Force is the oh no, what are you doing, baby category. As you guys can see, back row hate is on the rise in players' main decks and side decks, so good luck being able to battle with the Quaking Mirror Force face down. Access Code Talker is also really popular right now. Red Reboot is a card that you better be caught with if you are playing a combo heavy deck, because trap cards are amazing right now. Your opponent flipped up anti-spell fragrance and you're running a spell heavy combo deck like Drytron, and you might want to have that Red Reboot on the side of you. Again, guys, I'd rather be judged by 12 than be carried by 6, guys. This is a card that's gonna give you that option. Skullmeister, guys, I feel like Skullmeister, oh my god, Skullmeister is interesting because it has great interactions against Shuttle, Prank. It can stop BBW. Pretty good interaction against Drytron. I mean, I'm just gonna have to put it in the sauce because this card actually just has so many interactions against all of those decks. It's a fairly good hand trap. Maybe actually let's put it into the really good, because this is a card that I feel you should be mainboarding more than anything. But if you are mainboarding it, sideboarding just feels like a question mark, because stopping 1 point of interaction doesn't feel as good for the sideboard. Again, I think I made a hand trap video. Discussing what's the purpose of hand traps in the tiers of hand traps. In this current meta right now, 1 point interaction sideboard cards are like, what are you doing, baby? So, I mean, the more that I think about it, let's just move all the 1 point interaction hand traps to, oh no, what are you doing, baby? This isn't really a 1 point interaction, as it can end your opponent's entire turn. So those low impact 1 point hand traps are, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Forget everything that I said about them, move them down because of this sole reason. These cards are really good. These hand traps are amazing, but for your sideboard, your best hopes for your sideboard is to either blow your opponent out or end their turn. None of these cards in the current Yu-Gi-Oh card game will end your opponent's turn unless they already have a bad hand, and you shouldn't be sideboarding for bad hands. Apologize for completely going left on this, but I think that's a very fair assessment of these cards. I didn't want to judge them too harshly, but we're talking about sideboards and not hand traps. Moving forward, Solemn Judgment is a card that you better be caught with if you are playing the appropriate deck. You better watch out, because players are playing Red Reboot, Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters, Harpy's Feather Duster inside of their side decks if you are playing a back row heavy or front row heavy deck, and this card is the answer to those particular cards. Solemn Strike is a 1 point interaction card. It is an amazing Yu-Gi-Oh card, but is a card that is more designated for your main board than your sideboard right now. Look at all this, oh no, what are you doing, baby? God. And these cards are really good for the most part. There's going to be somebody that's going to screenshot this tier list and put it in the group. What do you think about Cali? And they're like, why is he saying these cards are trash? And nobody's going to pay attention to the video. It's going to be funny. Soul Drain's not good because there's multiple ways to disrupt this card. Back row removal is on the rise. Summon Limit feels like a card that you better be caught with, but this is a card that I feel that should be in your main board if you are playing it. Triple Tactics Talent is another, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Do not put this in your sideboard. 1 point interaction card. And then, of course, Twin Tees is going to be a really, really good card. Now, Twin Tees does stop against the same things that Prinkins and Shadow does in Schism, as well as being able to get rid of Pandemonium. It also addresses back row heavy decks and Tri-Brigade Revolt. And again, Virtual World cards, that's pretty good. Different Dimension Ground is the sauce, ladies and gentlemen. Not a lot of people have noticed how Different Dimension Ground rolls. This card is god awesome, as it can end your opponent's turn without you having to, feel the pain of Dimensional Shifter on your turn. Super Polymerization, I'm going to put as not effective. None of these decks Actually, shit, this is a oh no, what are you doing, baby card. Nah, I'm sorry. Because there are decks that can gain advantage of super polymerization. Like playing it in Shadal isn't the worst thing to ever happen, but I don't know how the fuck you got Wind and Earth Fusion monsters in your extra deck. Shekinaga's good, Wendigo isn't. So like, if you are playing a deck that like you can super poly with your own cards, great. If you're playing a deck that you're relying on super polying your opponent's cards, good luck. Don't know a deck that can do that right now, or that would take advantage of the top decks right now. Eradicator Epidemic Virus is, this card feels, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because like, it feels just not effective. I'm just gonna put it at not effective. The reason why I'm gonna put it at not effective is because like, where's this 2500 attack dark monster that we can just summon at will? Now, if you can, then it's good. If you can't, what are we doing here? Moving forward, it's going to be Fantastical Dragon Phantasmate. See, this is a little different than the 1 point of interruption. This card is actually really good because it doesn't provide a point of interruption. It provides you a way to see into all of your side deck cards if you're going against a link-based deck. So Phantasmate is a very good side deck card, especially if you're going against a link-heavy deck. Imperial Order is a card that you better be caught with. I'm lying, guys. It's just sauce. These two cards are pretty much the exact same card. And a pointer of the Red Lotus is a sauce Yu-Gi-Oh card as well. Being able to see your opponent's hand and get rid of it. That's a pretty good. If you have 3 points over the Red Lotus, you might as well just win the game, right? You get to see your opponent's sideboard as well as their hand and banish a card for a turn. That can change the entire outcome of the game because player knowledge is really important. Blizzard is a sauce Yu-Gi-Oh card, guys. Oh my god, this card hits so much. You put a card like Prankid's Pandemonium back into their hand, but they can't Prankid's Pandemonium that turn. You literally get to play Yu-Gi-Oh for free. A lot of times there's only going to be one turn that this card will be used. It's amazing. Also pretty good against field spell cards like Magical Meltdown. So that's not bad, but Blizzard is not the company. The company is not doing great right now. The Yu-Gi-Oh card is doing awesome. Contact C is, I feel like this card is sauce, guys. And allow me explain why I feel that Contact C is too much sauce. Contact C is amazing against Tri-Brigade decks, especially if they don't play Cyframe Lord Lambda. You just drop the Contact C after they activate a BBW effect, and now they can't use Contact C. It's like now they can't proceed to do what they do. This card also has some other interactions against some other great decks, but I thought that the interaction with Contact C, against Prank Kids too, against Contact C and BBW is just really funny. Against Contact C and Prank Kids, they link into the Meow Meow Mew. You give them this healthy card, and then they don't know what to do. Lastly, I'm going to have to put Silent Graveyard, another newly added card. I feel like Silent Graveyard is good because it does do well against Drytron, Prank, Shadal. Fuck, this card is sauce. What am I thinking, guys? This is going to be the first time where we have a super layer. Actually, let's, that's going to be the first time we got a super layer like that. We got 2 layers for sauce. So many sauce cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game right now, guys. And I got to put Silent Graveyard at sauce because it is a spell card version of Abyss Dweller that can stop, virtual world cards in graveyard like Nan, not too great. It stops BBW, it stops Drytron, it stops Shadow, it stops Prank, it stops the meta. Well, that is all that I have for my sideboard tier list. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and check out these awesome videos. And of course, go ahead and watch out for Workout Wednesdays and Update Mondays. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. We are back on the right track, and I'll catch you on the next video.